we've got a special guest here with us today, which is Holly Pierce. Holly Pierce, we're going to invite you to unmute yourself and we're going to spotlight you right here. Hello, Holly. How are you today?
I'm great, Kelsey. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
You've been one of the most hotly anticipated guests in our Make-A-Thon because you know how to do some things that a lot of people want to know how to do.
Yeah.
So as we go through our interview today, feel free to pop any questions that you may have for Holly right there in the chat, but let's kick it off, Holly.
Okay.
Do you want to just start by telling us like what and where you teach?
Yes. So my certification was K6, and I started off many years teaching first and second grade and kindergarten. And then I moved up to fifth grade, and someone told me about this school. I was almost going to leave education, honestly. And someone told me about a project-based learning school in a different district, but it was closer to my house and it was STEM based. And I went and checked it out and got hired. And I was like, okay, I took a huge paid decrease, but I was almost going to leave anyways and had no idea what I was going to do. And then I went, and so I could have either been a content teacher and done project-based learning, or I could have done what I'm doing now. I went and observed in a creative learning systems smart lab. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. The kids are making like ringtones or something for their phones, and they had just all kinds of materials. So my lab, I'm a true facilitator, and I have coding, I have robotics, we do 3D designing, kind of just a little bit of everything. And I absolutely love it because the kids get to find their interests, and I get to just kind of let them put their goals of what they want to do and bring lots of resources in. So.
Oh, amazing. So a project-based learning school. Now I worked at one of my teaching jobs was in an early childhood education center, which they described as like a child-centered learning environment, which I'd never been in a teaching context like that before. And that was like all the theory that we learned in college, I could actually practice there because it was all about zones of proximal development and Piaget. And our professional development was like breaking out those textbooks and really putting that into practice. But what is a professional, or what is a project-based learning school like? How's it different from other schools?
Yeah, so the kids really get to kind of choose what their projects are, and we're aerospace focused, hence my little thing back here.
Nice.
So we're the only school, we're a middle school, and we're the only school that we know of in the country on an airport. And literally we are on airport property. So we have a lot of kids who are interested in being a pilot or just interested in anything aviation or space. And so all of our projects are related to that. So like one of the projects is where they do a high altitude weather balloon. And so throughout that, they have to kind of figure out what they're wanting to do and what experiments they want to put up on the weather balloon. So it's space related, but they're still learning, the different atmosphere levels. They're learning about density in the sky, and and they're writing, it's all the content. So they're writing a letter to go along with it. So it's just purposeful like that. And then in my class, I have them think about, where would they use these tools? And so if they're making a robot, maybe they want to make it to help their grandma who can't get around as much. And so having it be a real purpose instead of just for fun.
That's totally amazing that they're actually doing real stuff like that. They're not just watching videos of it. They're doing real stuff like that. Yeah. So can I ask you, you had mentioned you're like, oh, I was kind of getting ready to be done teaching. What made you want to stay in teaching when you found where you're at now? And I don't know, did you share the name of where you teach?
It's Colorado Skies Academy.
Okay.
In Colorado. We're hiring.
Hey.
One in Colorado. I know. We need a science and math teacher. What were you asking?
What made you said you were kind of ready to throw in the towel on teaching, but what made you want to stay?
Yeah. Being able to do this position, honestly. So it's kind of like a tech position, but not really. I mean, I think a lot of us have positions like this. So I'm truly a STEAM educator. I started loving my job again after 20 years. And I think I was burned out. I was burned out at one school just because the district was just doing some crappy stuff. And you know, my hair looks so weird there. I'm like, it's driving me crazy.
So the background
Like the
doesn't
light
look very glowy. I like
over
the glowy
here.
pieces. Oh, there you go.
It's
Yeah, okay.
weird. So weird. I just, yeah, and then I was working at school and they were so micromanaging, and I'm like, I just cannot do this. And I was teaching science and I wasn't science certified. And so I had to like learn a lot of stuff, and it was supposedly project based, but it wasn't. It was such a boring curriculum and I had to stick to it. And I was like, this is not my thing. This is not what it was 20 years ago. And now I'm truly just, yeah, I have the best position ever. And going to middle school, I never thought I would do middle school, but I love it. And I love what I get to do with the kids. So,
You know, I was the opposite. I started out middle school and I love middle school. I thought I wanted to do high school, and then I worked with middle school and I was like, ooh, I like these smelly little weirdos. Like they don't know where their limbs end. I loved middle school. And then I was doing after school with elementary school kids, and I love how excited they are about everything too. So it's funny where you think you're gonna end up versus versus where you do.
yeah, yeah. So funny. I miss kindergarten, but you know, I have 6th graders that roll around on the floor. So
So you get your fix. That's good.
it's all the same.
That's great. Awesome. Well, okay. So one of the main reasons that we were so excited that you were available for our Make-A-Thon is that you are like a whiz at DonorsChoose. So maybe for those people who don't know or who haven't used it before, what is DonorsChoose and how did you get started with it?
Okay, yeah. So it's a platform where teachers and nurses and librarians can post anything that you need, you know, that you can get online, or even just special projects too, I'll talk about. But and then donors can go on and find projects and donate that way. You can also get family and friends, but they basically, you know, help market your stuff. And so people will come on that you don't even know and donate to it. And the reason it's called DonorsChoose is because a donor can come on and say, I want to find a school in Colorado, or I want to find a coding project, or social emotional. They can find, you know, someone in a certain school district. They can just search wherever. And then DonorsChoose, once it's funded, they order the items and send it to your school. So you don't have to deal with the money at all. And they just order it and send it to your school.
Okay. So how did you get started with DonorsChoose?
Yeah. So like 8 years ago, maybe more, 10 years ago, I changed grade levels, and someone told me about it because I wanted to do flexible seating. And she told me this was a way to get funded. And she said, the hardest part is shopping. I'm like, what? That's dumb.
You're like,
But
that part sounds easy. I like that part.
I know, but it is. It's like, what do I want? What do I want? And so that was really the hardest part. And I wrote it for flexible seating, and it got funded like within 2 weeks. I was like, that's so cool. So I had gotten rid of my desks, and I got some like bean bags and like some cushy chairs and little foldable chairs with backs. And it was awesome. And then I did nothing else until I came to this school, and they said, not only was I going to be teaching my STEM class, but we all had to teach an elective. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, you know, what do they like? Because I didn't know what I wanted to teach. I'm like, oh, everyone likes PE. I'll teach PE. I don't know what I'm doing with PE. But then I was like, we have no materials. And, you know, it's a brand new charter school. I helped open the school. And I'm like, oh, what do we do? And so I posted a project, and there happened to be like a 3 times match or a 5 times match. And I posted it and I shared it with our school community, and it was funded like within 2 days. I was like, okay, this is awesome. So then I'm like, what else do we need? And so I just started thinking about what I needed for my classroom. You know, it can be, you know, markers and paints. But like, I've gotten so much with everything I've done through emphasis, and I got hummingbirds last year. I've gotten microbits. I got some other robots. So I have a picture of everything I've gotten funded, and I'll put that up here in a minute. But what a match is, yeah, there's a question there. And a match is where like companies like Kleenex or Kellogg's or all kinds of things, people will come on and say they want to support, and they'll offer a match. And so sometimes it's like STEM projects or equity focused schools. There's a lot of those. And if you have a project that meets their criteria, anyone who donates $10, it will automatically become 20 because they match it. So it basically makes your project half price.
That is great. That's awesome. So a question that I've always had about DonorsChoose is like, who are the people donating? Does it depend on the project? Like, is it families? Are they like, oh, we want our kids playing kickball, so we'll donate towards that? Or is it your friends and family? Like, who are the donors in DonorsChoose?
Sure, it can be both. They will send out emails to people. Like I get them all the time. They're like, here's a project near where you live, or here's another project in Colorado, or we see you've donated to projects before, because I donate to people too. We see that you've donated to people with, literacy projects. Here's some more literacy. So they put stuff out there, and there's ways to kind of get yours recognized a little more for that. When you get more donors, it somehow changes the logarithm, and then it seems to get shared more, we've noticed.
Yeah.
It is also, I donate to my own project because I believe in my kids. And I started off and it was just family and friends.
Yeah.
But you don't want to just bug them all the time, because that's hard. But what I say to my family and friends is, I literally want just $5, or I've even said $2. I just want to get as many $1 or $2 donations, because if you get like 20 people that do $1, all of a sudden you have 20 donors on your project, and that's what starts to help get it out there. So then, most people won't just do $1, but they feel like if they can only do $5 or $10, it still is helping you.
So it's kind of like a social media platform in that way, where like engagement is rewarded with boosting.
Yeah. And I post on Facebook. I'm on some DonorsChoose pages. I actually run a giving page. And so we share projects there too, and help people across the country. But Twitter has been amazing. It's kind of weird and changing right now, but that's another platform where I post it, and, random people will be there, and you can use the hashtags, and you can say, coding, STEM, and someone will just look for that and see that. And then other people share it. So I've had just strangers from Twitter help donate too.
That's a great one. So instead of trying to find like one like angel investor to fix your classroom, like, okay, if I can just get a couple people to donate a couple bucks, that boosts it. And then people who are interested in donating can find it easier. So that's a really good tip. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I even put it like at the bottom of my emails, my school email and my personal. And so anytime I send a letter, it's in my signature. And so we have parents that'll do that. And we have a school Facebook page, and it's on there. If we're like, oh, we have something coming up, we have a project and we want to get stuff to build gliders. Here's the materials we need. Parents will usually help with that too.
So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about projects you've gotten funded, and then maybe we can do a little like tutorial on like how to DonorsChoose. Would that work?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So what's the biggest project you've ever gotten funded through DonorsChoose?
See if I have anything. Can I share this little visual?
Yes, I will make sure to allow screen sharing. There you go. Yep, you should be allowed to share screen.
Okay. Okay.
Woo. That's a big one. Wow.
My school, or I have helped my school get $150,000 in 4 years. So, okay, so here's some big ones. We got a telescope, benches, those were like $1,300. The PE stuff was actually like $3,000 or $4,000. But I usually try to not do them that big, because it's a lot easier to get them funded if they're like $300 to $500. But we've gotten 3D printers, all kinds of stuff for our laser cutter. We got a popcorn machine, 9 square in the air. I think I might have a picture of that. Let me. Oh, maybe not. Here's our popcorn machine and the kids putting it together in my room. Little fidgets. I got the Sphero mat, filament, snacks. So let me see if there's anything else there, but these are just a few things. Obviously $150,000.
Yeah, it adds up. So what's the smallest thing you've ever gotten funded on DonorsChoose? Like how little can you get?
Gotcha. You have to have $100 in materials. So that would be like, yeah, but you can do a teachers pay teacher gift card.
Oh, nice.
We all use that, right? And so you can fund that. That's $100 gift card, and that's it. And it ends up like they have fees, and they have a suggested donation that people can keep or take off. And so some people want their whole donation to go to you. versus some of it going to DonorsChoose. But like what I love is when I get a match on that. And so I have a teachers pay teacher gift card that ends up costing like $60. So even if I pay for it myself, it's less than what it would be. So, and then
That's
you can use
awesome.
it for whatever you want on teachers pay teacher, but you can even just get $100 worth of batteries. I got a battery charging station. That was great. And rechargeable batteries for all my robotics.
Yeah, that's been a really big thing that we've been sharing this summer. We have a battery recharging station for like 24 batteries, and it saves us so much money, and it saves the environment so much batteries because we're not going through that stuff, right? So yeah, having a battery recharging station, that would be an awesome, if I know some people are looking for an easy, small, like first project to get funded or something like that could be a good one to put in there.
Exactly.
So, that's something that we've talked about a little bit, is that like, if it's a teacher's first time on DonorsChoose, there are some limitations versus if it's not your first time. So can you talk about that a little bit? First time versus not your first time?
Absolutely. So, and your first time, and I'm gonna have a referral link, and I get $25 for that, and I put, most of it back on you. So if you use my referral link because you've never created an account before, you'll get a little thing there, and I'll put that on your first project. Also, with your first project, you get a link for like a week, or a code that people can enter to get your first project matched. So even if there's not a longer match, they do that for your very first project. And there's always going to be somebody that doesn't use your link, but if you know them, you can put their email in and they'll still apply it. So I can help with that. Yeah. Cause some people forget, even though you tell them, tell mom, hey, enter in this liftoff code and they'll double your donation. They forget. Or they don't know how to do it, but you can go in and do a help ticket and they'll help. So then your first project is done, and you can have up to 10 projects at a time. I have multiple now. I didn't in the beginning, but I always have a couple now because sometimes people can come on and just fund everything from one state. A couple years ago, they funded every single project. So you never know. Yeah. Oh, and there is going to be a match next week, August 2nd. So it's a great time to have something up because they market that a lot and help try and get projects funded that day. So it's a 50% match. So every dollar becomes $1.50, but still great.
So for that like referral link, they could use that, and then that would like it said, that gives you $25, but you're going to put $20 of that back in there. So that's $20 of your thing funded, not from anybody else, from DonorsChoose, right? Like that is DonorsChoose funding $20 towards your first project through Holly, which is awesome. Love that. But so what are the limits?
But mine can't be doubled because it's a credit. But if you have a different match, and because there's other matches you can get, it could be doubled. So it'd be $40.
That is great. Okay. So what are the limitations on your first project versus your future ones?
Gotcha. Actually, after like 3 projects, once you've had like 3 projects, it's either 2 or 3. I might need to look it up. But after you've had 2 or 3 funded and you've written your thank you note, because at the end you have to say, I got my stuff, yay, it's coming. And then once you've used it, you go on and write a little bit longer saying, here's what my kids did. They used the, microbit to do this, this, and this in the class. We combined it with our other materials. We made a virtual pet or whatever. And because you could get materials, for that. Then, and you have to send pictures. So when you get stuff, make sure to take pictures without like kids' names on it, or definitely no last names. They can have their pictures in it though. You do have to make sure you have permission to share those, or you just have the back of their head, or you can put a little emoji on their face. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. And then once you've done that, then you get extra points that you can use for a special project. So like what I did to get my hummingbirds was I wrote, you can get them through anything you can get through a website that's not one of their choices. You can open it up, or you can ask any company for a grant, or not a grant, a quote. So I was like, can I get a quote for a classroom set of whatever? I did that for the 9 square in the air. It's awesome. It's basically 4 square, but it's on PVC pipes and you play up in the air. It's so fun. You can have 9 people playing and you get out just like 4 square. So literally you can have like 20 kids out there having fun forever.
Sounds awesome.
So I'm like, can I have a quote for that? And they gave me a quote, and then they'll do that. And so every time you get a project funded and send your thank you notes on time, you get extra points. And so you can do special projects like that. But anything you can get on Amazon, that you can do on your first or second project. They have all kinds of vendors you can get things through, like science supply store, teachers pay teacher. I can't even think of them all, but you can just do a search for whatever you want and they'll show you all the places you can get it. Or you can go and click, no, I just want to go straight to Amazon.
So, okay, if teachers were creating a strategy, let's say the ultimate goal is, I want to get a classroom set of hummingbirds funded by DonorsChoose. Well, since that's not an Amazon and BirdBrain and CodeJoy, we're not one of the approved vendors. There are a ton of approved vendors, but actually they're limited, right? For the first few, right?
Yeah.
So if that was the ultimate goal, maybe you plan 3 mini projects, real cheap ones for craft supplies, and you make your little list. For battery recharging stations, you make your little list, and something else really cheap that you want in your classroom, but like 3 small projects, and get them funded, like make them real small so that you can get them funded really quick with as many like $1 donations as possible to kind of boost you there. Send your thank you notes on time, and then you're allowed to get a quote from anybody you want, including BirdBrain, or as we've mentioned before, CodeJoy sells hardware. So if you're like, I want a full classroom set of these things, then you get a quote from us, and then you put it on there. And then that one is your, you know, couple $1,000s or whatever. That one's your big one for this full classroom set of robots. But you got to kind of like get your feet wet by like, or like earn your stripes kind of on DonorsChoose by doing a couple starter projects before you get there.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Exactly. And when you, one thing with Amazon I thought of, and I don't want to forget, if you're brand new and you've never used it, when you create your account, you want to use your home email to create your DonorsChoose account, because if you change schools, hence I did, you might have a new email and you want to be able to take it with you, but you can change it if you don't. And also you want to use the same email that you use for your own Amazon account, because it links it even though you don't pay for it.
Nice.
So just something to know there.
That's
And
your personal email and
about,
whatever your Amazon email is, use that so that they're linked up. That's great.
Yes. So I put a link in here about special requests, and it said you need 6 points to do a special request, and you earn a point. Let me put this in there too. You earn a point every time your project is funded, and you tell them within 6 days you want it. You put your impact letter on there and your student thank you. So that's 3 points, I guess. And then you spend points every time you submit a project. So each project costs 1 point to get, but then you get 3 once you've done it. So that's how you build up. And I can't remember how many you start with, but there's somewhere you can look in your account to see.
Okay, so there's kind of like they're like encouraging things that they want DonorsChoose to be used for by having this little like point system.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then I funded like over 100 projects, so I clearly have a lot of points now.
Yeah, you're racking them up, which is pretty great. So how should somebody get started? Like, if I pulled up the website right now, like, could we start a little something? I mean, I'm not a classroom teacher, but maybe talking everybody through it, would that be a useful thing to try?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and maybe even if people are like, yeah, I want help, but I guess what we need to see, is there anyone in here that doesn't have an account yet and wants to see that versus, or are there more people that already have an account and want more help?
Yeah, so let's do this. Let's use 2 different emojis. If you have an account, or I'm sorry, if you do not have a DonorsChoose account and you want to see how to set one up, show us the thumbs up emoji. You can look at the emojis on the bottom of your Zoom screen. So if you don't have an account and you want to see how one is set up, use the thumbs up emoji. Or if you have a DonorsChoose account and you want to see how to set up a project, use the little party emoji, the little. So thumbs up means you don't have an account, but you want to see how to set one up. Party hat means that you have an account, but you want to see how to set up a project. Okay, I saw a couple of thumbs up. So maybe just kind of starting from the beginning, there's 3, 4 thumbs ups and 1 party hat. So maybe if we kind of set one up together, then we can kind of talk about how to start your project from there. So
yeah. So do you want to do it under
Sure, yeah, I'll do it on my screen here.
Yeah, and just use that referral link. And if you've already created an account but never submitted a project, you can still use my referral link and we'll still get that referral money to put on yours. So
Cool. So I just clicked on the Holly's DonorChoose referral link and here I am. Do I click get started?
yep.
Okay,
And it's so cool. It literally walks you through it. So yeah, use your personal email.
that's me. Find my school. Let's see, what should my school be? Like I should do a pretend one. Actually, Amanda Jean, can we set one up for you? Do you already have a DonorsChoose?
I do already have a DonorsChoose.
Okay,
And yeah.
you do already have a DonorsChoose. I'll set one up for my old elementary school that I went to back in the day, and then
And as long as you don't write a project, they'll never really be notified. And you can actually say disable my account later if you want to. So
okay. Crossroads. Oh, it turns out there's a lot of Crossroads elementary schools. West Des Moines, Iowa. Oh no, Crossroads doesn't exist. It does. I know. I still live
that's
right
so
next to
weird.
it. Oh, I'll just find a school in West Des Moines. Ah, oh, it says it's searching near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So here, I'll do what's near Pittsburgh.
You can do my school if you need to as well. But
Yeah, can I just pretend I'm
Yeah.
part of your school?
yeah, Colorado Skies Academy.
Okay. What's your school zip code? I'll start there. Like,
Let me look. I think it's 80012. Let's see.
it. Colorado Skies. Hey, Colorado Skies
There we
Academy.
go.
Great.
There we go.
All right. So I'm an honorary teacher at Holly's school for now, but you can put your school in there. And as long as you're nearby your school, it'll find you.
Yeah.
All right. My students call me Miss Derringer. Yep, that sounds great. And I would describe myself as Caucasian. Here, I will.
And that is important because they do sometimes have ones for, Black or Asian. So it's always a good idea to put that in there if you never know.
Okay.
Sometimes just do men, not that often, but they had one for, there was a match for Black male teachers. So,
That was actually a big focus at ISTE this year. They had a whole panel discussion on teachers of color and specifically Black male teachers, and a call out to talk to your students who are Black males and say, hey, I think you'd make a great teacher, because everybody on that stage who was a Black male, no one had said, I think you'd make a great teacher until they were well into college, versus all of the Black women on stage. Somebody in like elementary had said, hey, I think you'd make a great teacher. So that's actually a fun thing that for them to fund. That's awesome.
All right. So then, okay. So, let me put this out of the way there.
Like I can choose a
So
standard
do you see right
project or
there
a
at the bottom where
professional
it says find a match offers? Don't click it, but just know that it's there, the match offers. And I also have that on my slides. So that's actually really good to look at, because then you, and actually, yeah, go ahead and click it, because then you can think about making sure to get something that will have a match. So right here, classroom basics for equity focused schools. You can always click on it and see more details. So I'm not an equity focused school, but if you were, you would want to click more details. And sometimes it'll say needs to be less than $1,000. See right there. Art supplies. And so if one looks like it applies to you, you want to make sure to pick the certain category or whatever they say so that you'll get a match. And what's cool
and it shows if it's like a national offer or a local offer or something like that. That's great.
Yeah. And try to have it match like 2 different things. So I have a few projects that are in draft, and as soon as a match comes up, then I make sure to tweak it so that it fits that match. Or 2 of them, because if one runs out before you're funded, it'll do another one. So
nice. That's great. That's awesome.
Okay. So then click let's go.
Let's go.
Wait, did you see where it said campaign code? Once the Pathfinders tells us the code, that's where you'll enter that.
Okay, so Pathfinders or Infosys has told us that they'll put that match out on August 20th. We're like, could it be July 27th? And they said no. So
It's
it's just going to happen at the end because they're, I think, waiting for everybody to kind of get done. And I think they've just got other stuff going on right now.
Yep.
But when Infosys puts out that campaign code, if you wait until then to create your account, you can put in that campaign code right there. But
Okay.
we'll skip that for now.
And you can do the whole project and then add it later. So then you say your grade level.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
And then is it for your whole, whatever
Yeah,
band?
3rd through 5th, number of
And
students.
then however kids, can be just your one class, or like mine is the whole school. So
Right, that's great. Okay, save and continue. And then we get to go shopping. And you said this part's hard. How come?
just because it's like, what do I want? What do I want? But so like right here, it'll just search everything. So if you're like, oh, I need crayons, whatever, you could do that. So let's not pick one with Amazon just because that's a little bit trickier.
Okay.
But we can do that later in breakout rooms if someone struggles with it, because
Sure.
I don't want you to have to link your Amazon to it and see,
Sure.
see your passwords and everything. But just, pick honestly anything here, headphones or dry erase or anything.
Headphones. What do we got? Oh, look, there's some really cool ones. I like. These look cool. Great. I'm gonna add, and then you add your quantity.
Yep. So you could just put in like 11, so we make sure to hit the 100, and then you'd be done. But obviously, most people go through and
Want a couple other things. Okay.
Yeah.
I add to my cart, continue shopping, add that to my cart. Okay, so I'm adding in a few of these. And then, okay. Hypothetically, I would be able to type in 11, but for some reason I couldn't. Okay, so let me see how many I put in my cart. I've found all the things that I want to. Aha. I've still only got one of them in there. For some reason, I need to update that, but.
Yeah, but you can see over on the right, it looks like 40. Oh, so yeah. So it adds all the other things, but it won't seem so much once you have other things in there.
Yeah.
So then click continue shopping.
Okay. Continue shopping.
And then scroll down. So you can keep searching like this, but if you want to do Amazon, click right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you could just go to their site. And I thought this is where Teachers Pay Teacher was, but I'm not sure why. And so on here, it does tell you what you would need for Amazon. It has to be Prime, can't have certain things. So definitely read that. And then what would happen is you can click it if you want to. Are you already logged into Amazon on here? No.
Probably not. I'm not totally sure that I have an Amazon account. I'm like, anyway.
Yeah, but if you did, you'd go there and then you'd add things to cart. And then once you go to your cart, it'll say, transfer it to my DonorsChoose or something.
Okay.
And then it goes in there. So go ahead and go. We don't have to have 100 in there to keep going. So you can just go back. You can add more if you want, or actually, add one more thing.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
Let's add some glue sticks.
Perfect.
Add it. Yep. Adding that in. Boom, baby.
Oh. And then say view cart.
Okay. I'm gonna add some more glue sticks so I can view my cart.
Okay. And then I think on the right is where it says summarize what's in your cart. This is where you want, just like on the bottom right, you want to just say, help give them purple glue strips and headphones to connect to their microbits, whatever.
Help my cool students. Oops.
So it's not,
I was not clicked in the right place. Okay, here we go.
so
Help
1 to 2 sentences.
Help give my students the glue and headphones they need to build robots. Sure. Okay, that's gonna work. Okay.
And then
I put my cell phone number in there, get alerts and stuff. I agree to receive some stuff. Okay. And then I can move on, but I'll need to fill out the total project cost before I can submit it. So, but I can save it.
Because you're not high enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then titles are fun. You want something like,
I'm good.
Fun, catchy title.
This is where Matt is the best. Like he'll just like naming our little robots, like the little drummer, oh, the tiny drummer, or like the tiny dancer. He's so good at these. So I might call it like we made a new robot this week called the Bop Buddy for Colorado skies.
Yeah.
Fun like that. Sticky tunes.
Oh, there's so many in the chat. I love it. Yeah.
Help our learning stick. Perfect.
And
what
look, it's mad at you. Buddy has to be capitalized.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, let's say you wanted to do 3 projects like that, and you were going to literally do the exact same thing. You could say part 1, and then you could copy everything into another one, part 2. So I do that with like my 3D printing so that people know, I already donated to that one. Oh no, this is part 3.
Yeah. Nice.
So.
Nice. Okay. I love that they've got some tips here too. Effective titles are clear and aspirational. You should touch on the theme of your project and make sure it's not too vague. Great. Okay, I can make some more. I can write an essay about my project here, telling everybody why they should fund it. Hey, this would be a great opportunity to use ChatGPT to help you write a really good essay with some good like words and stuff. That would be cool.
Yep. And I always try to say something about like in the very beginning, like tell a story. Like I did not have these kind of materials when I was a kid, because that first paragraph really kind of catches people. So
that actually relates to something that one of the folks in our other interview said about like storytelling can be a really effective way to bring people in. So a great time to tell a quick story about why this is going to be so helpful. Awesome. All right, and then we pick our subject areas and I'll just save and continue for now.
And that is important there. Like if there's a match, sometimes it'll say it needs to be, under health and wellness, or it needs to be art supplies. So, and, even if it does seem like it's all just STEM, pick 2 different areas, maybe STEM and then career development, because you never know. Sometimes just the category will be something you get a match for.
Nice. So you're really stressing the importance of like kind of tagging it effectively, almost like really using the same things that make social media posts boost up. It's really occurring to me like DonorsChoose is a social media site for funding classrooms, right? So like all the same or a lot of the same rules apply. So if you're looking up how to boost a DonorsChoose, like, yeah, a lot of those same rules apply. That's great. Cool.
Yeah.
So then I could put a picture. I bet that would help if there was a picture of me and a picture of my classroom and where I can give my project some more details. Awesome.
Yep. And I think that's pretty much all the steps. It will have you do like a thank you that'll automatically go to people if you don't get it in time, but you still want to go on and send a thank you as well, because the automatic thank you doesn't show up to other donors. And there are some donors that will not donate to you if you haven't been personally thanking them.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good thing to know. That's like that is DonorsChoose etiquette, that you send a personal thank you, not an automatic thank you. That's a good one, so that you continue to get funded in the future.
Yeah. One thing that DonorsChoose does, did it have you create a password when you made your account?
It did not.
Nope. So if you stay on that same computer, it will stay logged in for you. Oh, can you share your page again?
Yes.
Share your screen.
Where was I?
So see at the top, see that orange thing at the very top? You're on track to get double donations because you're it's your first project, and a reward for me. So if you don't have that orange thing, you need to click my link again, or if you go onto a different computer, it won't stay. And so you have to have that before you submit your project. And then once you do, it'll tell me, but it doesn't tell me who created it. So it tells me, like I probably got an email now saying Kelsey created an account. But once you submit it, it just says somebody created it. Here's your referral bonus, but it doesn't tell me who, and it doesn't give me your project. So once you do, then you'll want to send me your link. And what I will do is I will actually change your link. So they'll say, share it to people now. Don't, just hold off, because if you send me your link, I will change it for you and I will tag it with the giving page that I run. And then that's another way to get more attention brought to your project. So
amazing. So that giving page is a Facebook page where you can also help boost teachers' projects.
Yes. And we started doing this because I started searching some on my own and would join contests. And I actually met a lot of friends this way and met a bunch of them in person this summer. So very crazy, just from meeting on Twitter and Facebook. And anyways, they through that channel, I was able to get a lot of projects funded. And so a friend of mine and I opened our own giving page. It's called Furry Friends. We're on Twitter and Facebook. And basically, people who are sharing their project with our ID or joining our contests will feature their project on our page and help bring in donations to fund them. And then, so there's contests that we do. We also post tips, like anytime there's a match, we post that. We're actually
alert, a match is coming. Here, do the thing now, Fred. That's great.
And then one thing we're doing is anyone that already has a project now, or if you create one soon, we're doing a trading event on Tuesday, where instead of donating $10 to your own project, you donate to 5 other people, $2 to 5 other people. All of a sudden you have 5 new donors on your project.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're like,
So
you know this system so well. You really know how to wring the most out of this for teachers to help teachers fund the things that we know that are best for our classroom.
And you still have to work at it too. We can't do it all, but you still got to share it, do stuff. But
you're a support, exactly. You're not doing the work for everybody, but you're here to support, you're here to boost, you know the ins and outs. And now everybody who's here and everybody who watches the recording of this, you've got an in, you've got somebody who knows how to do this. So is it all right if people contact you, give them your email address? I saw your Twitter handles and stuff on there. Is that okay?
Yep. Probably sending me a message through Twitter or Facebook is best.
Okay.
On Facebook, there's 2 of us that run it. So if you just say, hey, Holly, we met on the thing, that'd be good. But you can put my email on there too. I just don't always see it. So do you have my email?
We have your Twitter handles, so we'll stick with those.
Okay, but I don't mind the other one.
Yeah. I want to. Oh, go ahead.
Go to my website.
Yeah. I also want to just encourage folks now as well. We've got about 10 minutes before we hop into breakout rooms to ask any questions that you may have for Holly. When we open those breakout rooms, we're going to have Holly go to one specific one. So if you want to unmute and talk to her, perhaps even you're starting a DonorsChoose now, I highly recommend that. Go ahead and make a DonorsChoose right now. And then as you're setting it up and as you're putting stuff together, Holly's here to brainstorm with. What an amazing opportunity that I bet everybody on that Facebook giving page wishes they had this opportunity, because you've got FaceTime right now. So go ahead and start setting up a DonorsChoose if you'd like. I just showed you how to set it up. Or when we go into those breakout rooms, you can ask Holly any questions there as well, face to face. But does anybody be sure to put in the chat any questions that you may have? We can ask those in the main room here. But you were having some ideas or you had some ideas about adding your birthday or personal info. Why would you add things like that?
Because on your birthday, you'll get a match code. So you just want to put that in there. Yeah. And for that, what will happen is they'll say, because you didn't create a password, you can add a password in there, but it may make you log in again or go to your email to make sure it's really you, and a single sign-on kind of link. And so when you have put your birthday in there, you'll get an email usually, or just remember that any project that you have running, people have to enter the word birthday and it will double their donation.
Oh, amazing. That's great.
And then the Sonic, they every year they do all kinds of donations. Sometimes they'll just give $200 to everyone that has clicked Sonic Teacher.
All right, I'll be a Sonic.
Just click it. Yep.
I like a cherry limeade freezy as much as the next person. So yes, I am a Sonic teacher now.
Yep.
That's great. And Tina had a tip in the chat as well, said that you can also personalize your link for some better marketing. And she showed her example in the chat too. So that would be a good idea. Nice. So here is a question from Melissa. She said, with the Infosys match, because they're not opening it until the 20th or so, if they start a project now, can they put that match on afterwards?
Yes, you can put it on later, but if you've never done one before, you're going to get a match code for your first week. So pick just a $200 to $300 project, because then that'll be with the match. If it was $300, it's only $150.
That's great.
And so if you can share it out there. Family and friends usually will help you get that funded. So sometimes people do it bigger just because they're like, oh my gosh, I know 3 family members will give me $100 each. Well, then you want to do like a $600 project. So you'll have that match code, or if you see anything else in the match link that we had earlier, you'll have that match. And there's a match Tuesday. So the emphasis one is awesome too. And I think it'll last a little longer, even though they say it's while funds last, it's usually lasted a few months. In the past. I don't know this year, but in the past it did, because it's only us, anyone that did this summer, that can use that code. So, but yeah, if you've already started the project and got any donations, I don't think you can add the code later if you made the project live.
Okay.
But you might actually be able to. I bet you could send in a message.
Yeah. If you were,
So-
if we were going to be really smart about it, because it's still a couple weeks until that comes out, hey, maybe you get, since you've got that match, since it's your first project, maybe you do a little one like you were saying now, and then you use the Infosys one for another little project at the end of August, and there's your first 2 projects. And did you say you have to do 2 projects or 3 to get the ability to do a special project?
I can't figure out how many points you have right off the bat, but maybe you could look in your account, look in your personal info, and see if you can see how many points you have right now.
Let's see.
Because I think it'll cost 1 to do this project.
Okay,
And
here
then
I
you get
am.
3 later, because you have to have 6 total.
Okay, so where do I find my points?
So go up to the top,
Mhm.
like click your name on the right,
Here, no, this
on the
one.
far top right, yeah. It's either teaching details or private info.
Okay.
Okay, scroll down. You do want to say what your role is there.
Sure. And hey, I'm going to be a Sonic teacher. I remember that now.
Oh yeah, click that one.
Cool.
Okay, and go up. And it is good to fill those other things out, but it's not crucial right away. And then go to the other one. Let's see.
Oh, 3 points. I have 3 points.
Okay, so you have 3. So then when we submit this project, you'll only have 2 because it costs 1. But then you get 3 more points once you've done your thank you and you confirm it ahead of time. So then you'd have 5. Then if you wrote another one, you'd be down to 4 plus 3, you'd have 7. So 2 projects.
So 2 projects. If you do 2 projects, and it sounds like with your first one, you get that automatic match. And with that second one, you could use the Infosys match at the end of August. You could get both projects funded for half price. And then that third project is where you could basically buy things off, not Amazon, not any of those big ones. So that's when you could go for something a little bit bigger, like a full classroom set of robots or microbits or CodeJoy student shows, PD, stuff like that could be your third project, so that you could, because you'll need to do a special project for that one.
Yes. And you can do, like, you can put on, like, if emphasis had cost, you could have put that as your thing that you wanted to fund as PD.
Amazing. This is so informative for me, because teachers will often ask if does CodeJoy do DonorsChoose? And I'm like, I didn't know how to answer that question before now. So this is really informative for me, for sure. Man. Any other tips and tricks that you want to share, that you want to make sure folks know? And then I have one final question for you after that. But any other tips and tricks you want to share, or things you want to make sure people know?
On my slides, there are all the links of like funding opportunities. Oh, this is one. There will be on the funding opportunity link, which is on slide 12. They usually around the beginning of school, they will have something where you can use applied digital skills. And if you've never used that, it's awesome. It's free. They teach you how to do like Google Draw stuff. They teach you how to do like pixel art using conditional formatting with Google's like spreadsheet. And so they'll have a thing where they're just wanting to promote it and have teachers using it. So if you teach those lessons to your kids and get like 10 kids to finish, they have to click through all the videos, they will give you a DonorsChoose gift card of like $100 or $150.
Nice.
And then you can use it right on your project. Use the link I give you, because remember, I'm going to change your link and help attach it to my giving page. And I don't get anything for that. It just helps the page grow and more donors see us. So that's yeah, so they'll give you that, and then you can put it towards your project. And if there's a match, all of a sudden that 100 or 150 becomes doubled, 200 to 300.
That is totally amazing, man. It's just I've always heard about DonorsChoose, but it's just really amazing to be able to talk to someone who really knows the ins and outs of it. I'm so grateful that you have been able to join us today, Holly. I have one last question for you, and then we're going to open up some breakout rooms. But what is something that you are looking forward to this school year in your teaching practice, with your giving page, on any topic, but just what's something that you're looking forward to this school year?
That's a loaded question.
I know you didn't think you were in for the hard sell on the interview today.
I know. Hoping that we stay open, because we're a charter school and we, didn't got, we're not even sure if we're going to stay open. So that's something too. But I think, honestly, I'm just excited more to, personally have know what I'm doing more and be able to bring in stuff. So like one thing I'm looking forward to this year is doing sewable electronics. That was another PD that I did. And I'm going to use that as an elective, I think, where kids are going to get to make patches and sew them and put the circuitry into that. So I'm really excited to have that as a new elective. And guess what? I have a DonorsChoose project already. Oh, another good tip too. If you're like, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what I want, you can go on DonorsChoose and search projects, and you can search anyone who's done a coding project or anyone that's done a 3D printer, and you can go on and you can kind of get ideas for what they said. Don't copy everything, but you can kind of get the idea. Or you can look at Hummingbird. And I've often taken things from the vendor's website, and that's kind of what I use for my wording. So
yeah, these are all great tips. And I also hope that your charter school is big and happy and healthy this school year, if only for many reasons, but if only because you seem so happy and fulfilled as a teacher there. And when teachers are happy, that means good teaching is happening. So I hope that everything goes really great for you this school year.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on here, Holly. It was a joy to talk to you.
Yeah.
Awesome.